y'all, it's your Missniecytv, and I'm here to do a review for Zatima Season 4, Episode 20. The episode picks up with Zach talking to Angela at the baby shower, and he is asking where Fatima is because she finally made it to the venue. And Angela's like, she's in the back getting dressed, and Zach is just looking around and making sure everything's okay. And Angela's like, what's wrong? He's like, I think I saw Leslie. Angela's like, are you sure? Zach is like, I think so. They go back and forth on whether Zach is sure or not. And he's like, I talked to Henry and he didn't get back to me yet. He's like, she can't be out, can she? Zach, little do you know she slept with the guard to get out. She's definitely out. Angela's like, well, you gotta be sure. Zach is like, oh, trust me, I am sure. Then he lifts up his shirt and he shows her the blick. And she's like, do what you gotta do. Zach is like, trust me, I will. Then Angela heads back to Fatima to help her get dressed. That's when Fatima's mom walks up and she's praising Zach for the open bar and how we're showing class and everything. And Zach is like, well, it did cost me a grip. And Zach's looking around again and she's like, what's wrong? You're all fidgety. Zach is like, no, I'm just trying to make sure everything's perfect. Mona goes to check on Fatima and that's when Zach sees Nate and Tony and he asks them, have you seen her? Nate is like, no. He's like, you sure you ain't seen somebody that looked like her? Zach is like, no, I really do think I saw her. Tony's like, even if she did get out, that don't mean she here, right? Zach is like, you're right. Nate is like, well, we still gonna be security. Zach is like, so that's what y'all doing? Tony's like, yeah, Nate told me that you needed a security detail, and we gonna be posted up. Zach is like, I never said. Zach is like, what I said was when she gets out, we're gonna have to hire a security detail. Nate is like, well, we got her last time. Zach is like, can you shut up? Because I haven't told nobody that she's here. And I don't need Fatima to be panicking. Zach is like, so what I'm going to need you to do is relax and smile and pretend like things are right. Nate is like, so we just going to sweep the building. Zach is like, nah, I don't need y'all to sweep the building. He walks up and he basically lets Zach know the bad news that Leslie is no longer in jail because she didn't post bail, but she did escape. And Zach is like, what? Then he goes into a flashback of how she actually escaped. Like I said, she slept with the guard to get out. But this girl really slept with this guard. She pretended like she couldn't breathe, so the guard helped her get out. He drove her in his car. When she got home, she went into her shrine and started tearing down the pictures. A whole bunch of crazy things about Fatima and how she was supposed to be Fatima and how she was supposed to have kids and all this stuff. And then she gets a fake belly bag somehow. She starts rocking it and says, I was supposed to have kids. Then it shows Leslie going to the hair salon talking to Belinda, and Belinda winds up telling her that Zach and Fatima are having a baby shower at the law firm because Belinda's always inserting herself in situations that don't involve her. And little does she know, she just put Zach and Fatima in so much. So later that day, Leslie heads to the law firm. She's dressed just like Fatima. She sees one of the waitresses and they have a conversation. She's like, can you help me get some stuff out of my car? I can't carry it. The waitress is like, sure, where are you parked? She's like, the back alley. The waitress is like, I didn't know there was an alley here. Leslie's like, yeah, there's an alley and only the employees know about it. The waitress is like, sure, help. What's your name? Leslie has the nerve to say Mrs. Taylor. Leslie, you want to be Mrs. Taylor so bad, but that'll never happen. You're right up there with the delusion of Karen. The only thing you want is Fatima's life, and you're never going to get that, no matter how hard you try. So the waitress doesn't catch on to anything that Leslie's saying. She's like, oh, my name is Jessica. Have you seen the mother-to-be? Leslie's like, no, but basically we're like the same person. I'm like, Leslie, get out of your delusional mind. So they go into the elevator. Leslie comes back with the waitress's clothes on, so what I think happened is she goes into the alley, hurts the waitress to the point where she's able to take the waitress's clothes, and she comes back and pretends that she's a waitress. She's walking down the hallway to quote-unquote deliver the drinks. Mona bumps into her, and she's like, I'm so sorry. Then Mona's like, have you seen the guest of honor? Leslie's like, no, but I think the bathroom is down that way. Mona's like, I think I see her now. So Mona heads down the hallway, and this is when it's time for Zach to give his speech. He's like, thank you, everybody, for coming, even the ones that we can't stand. And then he goes on to say, well, the theme of this baby shower is it takes a village because our village is here and baby Taylor will be blessed and surrounded by so much love. Henry has the nerve to say, I thought the baby shower was Lion King because I saw all this safari stuff. Because like, haha, that's my father-in-law, y'all. He tries to be thick. Is like, y'all, let's get ready because my baby's about to come out. I bet you she looks gorgeous. Let's get ready. You know what? I'm about to go get her. Before Zach goes to get Fatima and Angela have a conversation, and Fatima's all freaking out. Like, what is he doing? How does it look out there? Is everything okay? And Angela's like, calm down. Fatima's like, don't tell me to calm down. And then that's when Zach walks in. He tells her that she looks like an angel. Fatima's like, how many people are out there? What did you do? And is it all extra? And Zach is like, you know what, calm down. So he leads her out to the baby shower, and of course she's blindfolded so she can't see nothing. So when she gets out there, it's a whole surprise. Zach is like, Fatima, did I do too much? Fatima's like, no, actually I love it. Zach is like, oh, that's all that matters. Then Mona comes up and she asks Fatima to take a picture with all of her aunties. So Fatima, of course, goes to take the picture. But before that, we see Nate talking to some woman at the front. And of course, Belinda's in her feelings and she's like, you can't speak. So she's like, how's your ex-wife doing? And of course, the lady leaves. Bryce and Angela have a conversation because Bryce asked her, does she want a baby shower this big? Angela's like, don't get too far ahead of yourself. Bryce is like, yes. Angela's like, what are you so excited for? Bryce is like, well, that's a possibility. Bryce is like, if it were before you would have been like, no, I don't want no baby with you. And you starts mocking Angela. And Angela's like, don't ever do that again. Bryce is like, it was just a joke. Bryce and Angela, you were nowhere near in the correct headspace or in the time of your relationship or whatever y'all want to call it to be bringing in a baby. Y'all just need to be friends. And when Fatima's taking a picture with all of her aunts and stuff, she notices Leslie. But she doesn't say anything. And Mona's like, what's wrong? Fatima's like, I just think I saw somebody that I knew. Fatima, this was a time for you to say something. That you think you saw Leslie. Even if it was just a figment of your imagination, you should have said something. Leslie walks by and Belinda's like, was that Leslie? Yes, Belinda, it was Leslie. And you know the reason why she's there? Because you invited her there without even knowing what was going on. So Angela walks by and Belinda's like, I think I just saw this crazy lady named Leslie. She's one of my clients. And Angela's like, what? Where did she go? She's like, what's wrong? Angela's like, well, Leslie is trying to kill Fatima. They check the catering room, and of course Leslie's not in there. So then we see Nate flag Zach over, and he's like, I think I saw Leslie. And Zach is like, where? Fatima talking to her mom, and they're about to head to the bathroom. Fatima's like, I'm just gonna go home. I don't feel well. Mona's like, well, you can go to the bathroom and sit down for a minute. I'll go get you something to drink. Fatima's like, no, I'm good. So Mona decides to leave anyway, and this is when Leslie walks into the bathroom, and of course Fatima's like all freaking out. Leslie comes in there and she just is like, you took my life. Malachi only loves you. I was supposed to have kids. She like, I was supposed to be married and I was supposed to have a ring by now, but you know why that didn't happen? Because he's in love with you and he only sees life with you. And the only reason why he realized the difference is because he saw you as Zach and he realized that none of that could happen. You don't even appreciate the life that I gave you. And you know what? Since you took something from me, I'm gonna take something from you. And you gotta deal with it. She stabs Fatima in the stomach with a screwdriver, and I'm like, oh my god. Leslie truly has misplaced anger. The person that she should be mad at is Malachi, because Malachi is the one that put her through this. Fatima didn't do anything to her. Leslie should honestly be mad at herself, because there's no way in heck that a man will be able to tell me that I want you to look like my ex-girlfriend, and I'm actually gonna do it. That's crazy. She should be mad at herself. Leslie needs to honestly be in a psych ward, and Malachi needs to get some intense therapy to see why he would actually want his current girlfriend, Beyonce, to look like his ex-girlfriend down to a T. So after this has all happened, of course Fatima's in the bathroom in agony and she sees blood on her hands, and we assume that the baby has been severely injured or is gone now. But this is when Zach comes and he's like, where's Fatima? Belinda's like, I just heard screaming from the bathroom. So Zach of course tries to break the door down because Leslie took the handle off the door so nobody could get in. So then we see them at the hospital and Zach is of course crying and wailing, and Dr. Charles is like, Mr. Taylor, you can come back now. And Zach is like, I can't. And I really think that was Dr. Silas telling DeVal to come back, because DeVal was really grieving in that moment. This is the scene that DeVal was talking about in their interview where he said he was crying and it just brought him back to a place where Kay was having a miscarriage, and he was so deep in that moment that he couldn't come back into character, and Crystal and Dean had to console him. Then we see Henry having a conversation with Mona, and he's like, I should have did more to protect her. Mona's like, you can't blame Zach because it's not his fault. Henry's like, why not? And if something happens to my grandbaby, I'm gonna kill him. And Nate is like, oh no you won't. Nate is like, Zach will literally lay down his life for your daughter, so you might want to come correct, right? And Henry is like, who are you to talk to me? You're probably just like him. You bring trouble wherever you go. And Nate is like, You don't know me, dog. I will literally slap the dog crap out of you. So everybody tries to break up of the fight, and everybody goes into their separate corners. And Nate is like, you don't know me, dog. You don't know where I come. And Mona's like, can we just stop? Y'all pray with me. So they end up praying. And I really hope that the baby is okay and Fatima's okay. And Leslie gets into a psych ward that will keep her for a long time. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Let me know what you guys think about season 4B in general. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, turn your bell notifications. Bye.